Salams and welcome to part number 4 of this book, Islam in the Media, which I compiled so many years ago, Alhamdulillah. And we're talking about how the media wants to put our brain in the cage and how they want to distort our understanding of reality. And the only way to remove the brain around your cage is what he said in the Quran is saying this. I'm not saying this. Quran is saying that the way to remove your brain around the cage, the way to remove darkness from your life is to read. Iqra. The very first word of the Quran says that to remove darkness in the world, to remove darkness from your brain, to remove the chains around the brain, you need to read. And when you Iqra also means proclaim. Read in the name of thy Lord. Proclaim in the name of thy Lord. That means when you're reading, that refers to the power of the pen. When you're proclaiming something, that refers to the power of the media. And always remember that there are always two sides to every story. So instead of just condemning the Muslims, instead of just saying Muslims are like Osama bin Laden, or Muslims are the suicide bombers, or Muslims are A, B, and C, first always find out, let me listen to the Muslim side of the story. And even without listening to the Muslim side of the story, ask yourself, what is my interaction with the Muslims that I know? Do the Muslims that I know, and so many millions of people who know the Muslims, they say, you know what, Muslims are kind, they're very hospitable, they invite you to the house, they'll give you samosas, they'll give you tea, they're the best hospital, they are the most magnificent house, they are wonderful, they are gentle, they help the poor, the widows, the orphans. These are not suicide bombers, these are not people who are going to kill you. But the minute we hear the news headlines, oh, this is ISIS, or this is Osama bin Laden, or this is A, B, and C, for all intents and purposes, as what I said, I think Osama bin Laden is a figment of imagination. Yes, they showed vague pictures of someone, with a beard, and someone from Saudi Arabia who said, okay, he brought down the Twin Towers. My question is, ask a simple question. How can a person, supposedly, if Osama bin Laden is alive, I'm saying Osama bin Laden is no better than Santa Claus, but if Osama bin Laden is living in a cage in Afghanistan, while Santa Claus is living in the North Pole, they are both the same. Santa Claus is living in a cave in North Pole, Osama bin Laden is living in a cave in Afghanistan. They are both made up fictions of the imagination. So the whole question here is, how is a person, as according to the Western media, that a person living in a cave who doesn't even have TV, they don't allow TV and modern technology, the poorest nation on earth, how can such people know the advanced flight patterns of American Airlines? How? It's impossible. Right? But this is how they manufacture the way they want to control the media and the way they want to control the world. And today in episode number 4, we are busy with episode number 4 today. I don't know if I can just keep this on the side, but you will see the other book here over here. Is that let's take the example of the American Native Americans, right? Now we all grew up. I grew up when I was young, and that's how they brainwashed our brain. How I grew up when I was young, and many of my friends will also tell me, and many people all around the world will tell you as well. When you're growing up young, especially in South Africa, in the 60s and 70s and 80s, you know what the nice movies used to get? We used to call it growing up. We were 10 years old, 12 years old, 15 years old. You know what movies we grew up in? Cowboys and Crooks movies. You know what is Cowboys and Crooks? The Apaches, the gunfighters, these people in the Wild West, to show us that the America was a very wild nation, and the settlers came from Europe, and they came to this land where there was very wild nations there. These were known as the Apaches, and must be very scared of these Apache people, because if they catch you, they're going to rape your woman, and then they're going to take your head. This head, they're going to scalp it. They're going to take a knife, and they're going to take your scalp out. This is how we grew up, and we used to watch those movies, and the way they used to portray these movies was that the white man was a victim. Oh, feel sorry for these white settlers. Look, shame. They're cooking their meals early in the morning. Now the husband got guns. He's practicing early in the morning. He's shooting those tin cans. He's shooting. Why? Because the wild Apaches are coming. They're going to come. The wild Apaches are coming. They're going to shoot us. They're going to kill us. Save our woman. Save our woman. Then as I grew up, we started loving these movies. But some Western movies, like say we have The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, with Clint Eastwood and Sergio Leone. They brought some wonderful one, Trinity, what is it, Bud Spencer, and all of these, right? Various types of movies. Some of them were just talking about how the criminals in the Wild West were, the fastest gun in the West, those stuff, the Billy the Kid, what is it, the Billy the Kid, or I forget the Cantrells, I forget all the various types of people. I'll get the name soon. But when you look at the reality, when I studied or looked some into the history of these so-called wild Apache nations, you know who they were? They were the most honorable, most kind, most dignified. They were deeply spiritual people. And some studies even show that many of them were also Muslims, because before Christopher Columbus came to America, so-called, that he discovered America, Muslims were already there. When Christopher Columbus landed on the shores, there was a minaret of a mosque. Minaret of a mosque there. How did Christopher Columbus find America? You know how he found America? In Spain. In Spain, he called the Muslim sailors, because the Muslim sailors were talking about the Americas. So he told the Muslim sailors, please show me this place you're calling America. So the Muslim sailors took Christopher Columbus to show them where is America. But who gets the credit? Because the Muslims were not in control of the media. Christopher Columbus people were in control of the media. So they said, we, Christopher Columbus, we, the people, the Ferdinand and the Spanish people, or the people from Europe, the Portuguese and the French, we and the British, we are the ones who discovered a new land called Americas. They don't give credit to the Muslims who are already in America, already giving dawah, already spreading the deen of Islam. And when you listen to some of the chanting of the Native American people, when they see them around, then they say, hey, yeah. And some of our students have compared that to the zikr. Sometimes we say, when the zikr of some of our Sufi people, or some of our Muslims, when they say, Ya Allah, Ya Allah, Ya Allah, and we hear this Native American people singing also, Ya Allah, Ya Allah, Ya Allah, they're actually saying, Ya Allah. The Native American people were saying, although the song, the Western people, they changed it. They said, no, this is a war dance. No, it was not a war dance. They were saying, Ya Allah, Ya Allah, Ya Allah. And our Muslims say, Ya Allah, Ya Allah. So these were honorable, wonderful human beings. They were leading their own life, living in some of them had houses, many of them had tents. And the reason why they had tents was because they used to follow, like in the same way the Quran says, the Quraysh people, when winter used to come, they used to go to the warmer areas. When summer used to come, they used to go to the cooler areas. So when summer was hitting Saudi Arabia, they used to go to the north, in Syria and Palestine and so on. They used to do trade there. And then when the winter used to come, they used to go to the warmer areas in Africa. So depending, so the Arabs also used to move up and down. Similarly, the Red Indians, and I apologize, I'm not calling them Red Indians. I'm saying that because that's the way I'm trying to make it understand that these are the Native Americans. When I'm saying Red Indian Apaches, I'm referring to these wonderful, honorable Native American people, the Sioux Nation, the Comanche Nation, the Mohican nations, people like Sitting Bull, and this whole lie about the scalping. So let's come to that. So these were honorable, kind, wonderful people. The Apache Nation, right? The Sioux Nation, the Comanche nations. So they are minding their own business. They take the tents, they're following the buffaloes, because the buffalo is their source of livelihood. Without the buffalo, they cannot survive. But you know what's the nice thing about this? The Apache nations, they used to only kill the buffalo they needed. They never used to mercilessly kill the buffalo. If they needed a buffalo for food, they would kill it. Then they would use every part of the buffalo. They would then use the skin of the buffalo for the tents, or they make clothes out of it. They would take the bones of the buffalo. With that, they would make spears, or they would make it like, you have toothpicks. You can use it for whatever, so many reasons. Then they would take the tendons of the buffalo, and they would make string and rope around it. So they used to use everything of the buffalo from skin to bone. Every part, nothing went to waste, because this was a sacred creature. And when they used to kill the buffalo, they used to stand around the buffalo and pray. They used to say, oh, great one in the sky. And they used to pick up one finger. One finger means Tawheed. They believed in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They believed in one God. There is no evidence whatsoever that any Red Indian or any Apache nation ever worshipped a statue. There is no evidence of that. They were not polytheists. They used to pray to the great chief in heaven, which is basically Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And when they used to kill the buffalo, they used to sit around the buffalo and pray. They say, oh, buffalo, you are such a wonderful animal. You have given your life so that we can live. May the great one reward you for giving your sacrifice. And you've seen this beautifully. If you ever seen that movie called The Last of the Mohicans, you will see how these people, when they kill an animal, they pray around that animal. They were very sacred, very religious people, very humble people, very kind people. How did this word scalping come in? Why were they then lied to? Why did the white man call them savages? You know why? When the white man came into America, the white man saw something which the Apache nation was not interested in. The white man saw gold. And the white man said, I don't care who you are. I don't care. You can be a kind person. You're a soft. You got no weapons. You only got bow and arrow. Well, we got guns. We got cannons. So we want that gold. And the Apaches, this is our land. We are just hunting our buffalo. We want our homes. We don't mind we don't mind your people coming to our country. You all can come here. There's so much land here. There's land for everyone. And the white man said, no, no, no. I want that particular. But they say, no, that's our burial ground. You got millions of other places you can go. So when the Apache nation refused to move around that land, this is their land. But they didn't say the whole of America is theirs. No, they said, no, this particular land is ours. Why don't you go across the hill? There's some more there. They said, no, we want this one here. They say, but across the hill, they say, that's how we live as tribes. We don't cross each other's path. The Sioux nation, we live different from the Comanche. The Comanche lives there. The Sioux nation lives there. The Mohican lives there. Why don't you as white men, why don't you go live somewhere else? We all live in harmony. You can kill as many buffalo as you want to. We all live peacefully as human beings. But the white men said, no, I want what is yours. So then they started attacking them. They started killing them. So the white men started killing the Native American, not the other way around. Then, when they still didn't want to move, then there was a reward given, bounties, where the governors of the land then told bounty hunters, the white bounty hunters, to say, you know what? Go kill these people. Just get rid of them from that land because there's gold there. Just get rid of them. So then this bounty hunters used to go, they say, kill the Apache. Unarmed Apache. They say, as long as you have an Apache, we want him. So initially they used to kill the Apache, put him on a horse and take him back to the sheriff of the town, and the sheriff of the town used to give them $10. Eventually these bounty hunters used to complain that, you know what, we're carrying these dead bodies on our horses, and they're becoming decomposed, they're smelling when they're carrying them. So then eventually they came up with the idea. They say, you know what, all right, don't bring the entire body here, just cut their scalp, just cut because they got long hair. So as long as you cut their scalp, cut the hair, so then you don't have to carry the entire body. So for every scalp you cut, we'll give you $10 or $20, whatever the amount was. Maybe it's $100, right? So now the bounty hunters got happy. Oh, you mean we can just give the scalp? They say, right. So the white men, not the Indian, the white men started scalping the Indians to get money. So instead of just putting one dead Indian on a horse, they cut the scalp. They say, okay, I got one Indian scalp, they got another Indian scalp, they can take 10 Indian scalps or even 100 Indian scalps, put it on the horse, take a whole bag of Indian scalps, put it outside the door of the sheriff, and the sheriff gives them $1,000 or $20,000. They give them $10 or $100 for every scalp. So now the white men started scalping the Indian, and the Indians got a shock of their life. They say, what is going on here? What are you people doing? Because when the men used to come back from the hunting grounds, they used to see the woman raped, the women's heads were cut off, the scalp was cut off, their children's scalps were cut off, because the white men didn't care. The sheriff of the town said, we don't care. As long as it's an Indian scalp, it can be a man, it can be a woman, it can be a 90-year-old man, it can be a child, we will give you your money for it. So they used to just slaughter the innocent people totally, until eventually, and then there were also cases when, let us say, there was a party, like a party in the town, and then the white people, the white men used to dress like red Indians. They used to put war paint on them. They say, you know what, because when the Indians were sitting quietly, the Indians did not react initially. So then the white men would say, but we are provoking them and they're not doing anything. Let us now get not only the bounty hunters, let's get everyone attacking them. This is now how the power of the media. Let's make everyone hate them. Let us show that they are savages. Let us not show that they are good people, because so far the Indians were not reacting. They were kind people. They were accepting all this abuse. Then what the white men started doing, like how today's Hollywood is, the white men started putting war paint on themselves. They put false hair on themselves, long hair, and then at night when there was a party in town, they attacked the party in front of all the white people. They killed a few of the white people. They took some of the women, they raped them, and then they scalped their own white woman, and they threw them outside the town. The white men did it. A gang of 10, 20 people, and this was happening all over America. Then in the morning, when the white people woke up after the party, they saw, we saw the Apaches coming at night. We saw with our own eyes. They were in that war paint. They were crying, they were screaming with their war cries. They took our woman, they raped them, they scalped us. Now they said, we want revenge, without investigating the truth. They said, but we saw with our own eye, they were the Apache. But what is the truth? They were not the Apache, they were the white men. The white man who decided that just having a few bounty hunters to kill these people is not enough. Let's try and show that they are savages. So now they're saying, you see, you people, you always sympathize with the Indians. You always saying that the Indians are good people. Look what the Indians have done. Because there were some people in the town who are good people. They said, leave the Indians alone. They are good people. They were kind people. They know the herbs. They know how to treat illnesses and all. But now they say, oh, you are sympathizing with the Indians. We're going to change your brain. We're going to put your brain in a cage. We're going to put your brain in a cage because we're going to control you. And that's exactly what they did. They put the people, the innocent people who were supporting the Native Americans, those innocent people saw with their own eyes what they thought it was. They thought they were Indians who were attacking them in their towns, but it was white men dressed as Indians who scalped their own women. And then those people of the nation, they stood up, and the white men then stood up. They said, these Indians are savages. They have scalped our women. Let's go and kill them. So people took up arms and they started killing and wiping out an honorable and kind, wonderful people. So the scalping that you read, always ask yourself the question, where did it start? It started with a white man. And then the white man, with the cause of his media power, he's put the brain of the people, of the good white people, he's put their brain in a cage up to today. And we see the same thing happening. The parallel of the Native American, the honorable, wonderful people, like we have Sitting Bull and so many people, the Cochise and so many other people, right? And the same thing happened in Australia. The white man came and once again they said, you know what? Oh, the black people, the Australian Aboriginal, oh, they are savages. We need to control them. Same in Africa. When they come here, it's, oh, the black man, oh, they are savages. In modern times, what word they use? They don't say the Muslims are savages, oh, Muslims are terrorists. Whereas in those days, they would have said that the Comanche was a terrorist. They would have said the Apache was a terrorist. But in those days, this is the word, they are savages, they are barbarians. Today's time, the word Muslim means terrorists, which means they are savages, stay away from them. They have got suicide vest bombs around you, stay away from these people. This is how the people in power, that shadow force, is putting your brain in a cage. So please, my appeal to all the people, our Christians and all our Muslims, non-Muslims, whoever you are, instead of hating the Muslims, instead of saying, I'm going to follow, if you're going to follow what the media is telling you, then the media has succeeded in their job. The media has put your brain in a cage. Are you a sheep? Are you a sheep? You're not a sheep. I know so many good atheists. I know so many good Christians. Many of my medical doctors and colleagues in my medical field are atheists and scientists and Christians. Many of my doctors and colleagues in the field of science and evolution and astronomy and medicine and science, they were amazing atheists, agnostics, and Christians and Hindus. Right? But we all work with one another wonderfully and beautifully because we are doctors. We are not extremists. You know, we talk with one another. We talk about the concept of God. We talk about the reality of life. We talk about how the media puts your cage in. And you know what my fellow colleagues say? You know, because atheists must remember one thing. Atheists are very intelligent. Don't misunderstand. They are very good people. Even a person like Professor Richard Dawkins, the world's foremost atheist, is very intelligent. And many of the atheists are very good people. But somehow, sadly, even for the atheists, someone has put their brain in a cage and they assume that no, there is no God and it is a sign of weakness if we believe in God. But here, my role in Islam in the media is to show that yes, certainly God exists because my Prophet said God exists. And the same resistance my Prophet faced, because when my Prophet said, Tawheed, there is only one God, the media, the Islamophobia started from the time the Prophet said, La ilaha illallah. Islamophobia started from that day. Stay well, look after yourself. Alhamdulillah.